and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have a Poppy versus a Nocturne. Now, I have been speaking a little bit about Poppy on the main channel, hidden OP, non-meta junglers and things like this. People have been mentioning it in the Discord as well, saying, hey listen, can we get a Poppy video? And you know what? We're going with the phase rush because obviously the phase rush utility is nice. Go in, reposition, go out, all the stuff that we all love about phase rush. I do prefer, though, to recommend Dark Harvest regularly because if you're going to climb with this, you kind of want that damage profile. You want to have access to the full domination tree, which is great on Poppy. You can scale with it, and you become unholy tanky. And Divine Sundra is all you really need with Dark Harvest plus your Q to do a lot of damage. So we go on a late invade here, and we get hooked in. We do a little bit of a knockback, and we're forced to flash out. And the reason why I'm showing this one is because obviously the Poppy's going to have to do work now, given that we went on this frivolous invade, and why I absolutely, unless you are Pussy Poo and Rengar, hate this sort of shit now. Just don't do this late invade nonsense. Focus on your optimized game plan, reconcile it with what the enemy jungler wants to do, and then take over. Now you're unholy compromised. Now obviously the blue team decide, haha, let's go chasing down, and now I'm going to do this, and the Poppy's going to hang around here, so we do have a bit of a fiesta. If you're the Poppy, and you're in low elo, you might still definitely affect this kind of chase down. If you're in high elo, you might expect them to go back to their camps. Either way, you're low, go back to base, just swap to the top side, do your quadrant here, look to leverage into that. You know this guy will probably vertical, thinking you're gonna go down. You'll shut bot side, and then you can vertical him, and then of course you can re-B gank this, reset, and now you've corrected it. It's because now you go back down to the bottom side. The most important thing is learn when to give things up. Now, again, this is fine because when you're playing an off-meta jungler or a non-meta jungler, you very, very frequently expect these kinds of things to happen, or you have to. It's very, very important that you understand that this stuff will happen to you 100%. So how do we come back from it? And hopefully most of you haven't clicked away because this is what I get in coaching and Discords and video comments. Yes, but what if I was invaded? What if the enemy jungler gets 2 free kills and he has a pickaxe early? What if all the negative things in the universe occur to me? Well, here you go. You've pretty much got one of the perfect examples. So top lane dies, we can't gank this, we can't go here because he cuts in, so we're like, oh, better just go to the Raptors. We can obviously look back to this. The Nocturne decides to go back to base and get his pickaxe. So this particular stage, we are in complete unknown territory. We don't know what the Shadow, the Umbral himself, is going to be doing. So we just go for the safety stuff, right? We're warded here. Thank you so much. Nice control ward. We can sequence down and maybe try to do something about bottom side. Obviously, because of our weird stuff, we started E, which is obviously not ideal either. We're going to go for the max Q. Now remember, Q has 2 procs. Proc 1, 8% max HP physical damage, and Proc 2, 8% max HP physical damage. So you can understand that procking your Sheen and understanding how much percentage HP damage you have. Ooh, do we have something? We have Hex Flash as well. We could do the Hex Flash gaming. We could do it. Oh, that was beautifully done. Redirected from the scanner into the E. Hits the smack. Beautifully done. This was huge. So this, yes. That scales with AD, cool. It has a double proc, it slows. There's also flash interactions, right? People kind of do the flash Q flash kind of mechanic, same with the Rengar E, if you're familiar with that. As we see Twitch, sorry, I just wanted to look up. The W, basically we have this thing where you're below 40% max HP, you get more resistances. So that's really, really useful in those low HP fights. They think, aha, I've got you now. And then you just get tankier. So not only do you get to interrupt all the dashes and annoying things from everybody, you get to do some magic damage with it. So hyper penetration from Divine Sundra, plus also get tanky. Now the E, obviously, when you hit against the wall, you get that stun, you get the bonus damage. Twitch support. You know why that's good? Because it's a pre-level 6 gank. Always look at that 5 minutes, 30 marker. The higher up you are, obviously the more perfect that level 6 spike will be. But for the majority of elos, if you can get that pre-530, usually you're safe where they're not 6 unless something really bad has happened. I love the Hex Flash. I really love Poppy phase rush Hex Flash activity. Obviously, I mentioned the Dark Harvest. That's great. You can still technically go with Hex Flash as well in that scenario, but obviously, the precision tree secondary there is kind of useful as well. So pick your poison a little bit, not a pun for the Twitch, but a lot of versatility in the rune set because we've got so much CC. We get more tankiness the lower we go. We have a hell of a lot of damage. And obviously, we have our passive, which elongates our auto attack and gives us a shield cookie that we can pick up. So we see the Nocturne, we're like, all right, I'm not going to fight you. You have a pickaxe. I haven't gone back to base yet. you're kind of strong. So I'm going to just leave. And this is the Nocturne, right? He's just doing his cheeky little clear down here. And we're just using Poppy's activity. We're 2-on-1 now. Why would you go dive this level 5 knowing that there's potentially wards here? You see the cookie there going forward to give us a shield. Although we know Nocturne's in the area. So the Poppy does the right job going in on the Echo to say, hey, we know you're here. But you don't want to overcommit to the point where you're going to die. Ooh, Varus with the snipe, and Talon shows up over the wall. Now Nocturne's like, that's unlucky. Obviously, we get the E, we get the auto, we get the Q, we get the shield proc from the Oreo again. We press the W to give us ourselves a movement speed proc, and off we go. Nice champion, strong champion, really good at this. Now, what people don't realize is, yes, her clear speed has been destroyed. It does not feel as good as it has done in the past. I just realized that the Mordekaiser's name is Black Sabbath. Nice name, good job to you. Is that Echo stealing? Or is that Kled? Yeah, it's not Echo. Obviously the Kled. He's just taking our Raptors. So when you're a jungler and you're moving on through the map and you see this, you're like, oh, really? Just kill him. Chuck the Oreo. Talon goes for the ult. We have the flash from the Kled here, which means he most likely dies. Why flash? Just accept your fate. Why are you even doing this? Because you know Poppy's... Yeah, you probably expected Poppy to go back to base, which is why I really love... backtrack. I call it the clean 6, okay? But it's not really a 6 camp. Let me just pause it briefly. It's basically where you will do these 6 camps, all right? But that's 4 camp. 4 camps, right? 4 camps, 2 bars. You then look to use a gank, a scuttle crab, something like this. Maybe you get double scuttle, it doesn't really matter. But the idea is because I start top and go bottom and do this stuff, cross mid lane, do this, the Krugs have respawned again. The Raptors have respawned again. So I take the Krugs again, I take the Raptors again, and I go back to base. So if you subtract the buffs from that, that's 6 base value camps you've secured. All 4 of their base camps plus to respawn. Now what you can do with that, it's an older strategy, but it checks out from like season 11 that I talked about. But what you can also do from that is if your champion doesn't really get the ganks off, but you get the full clear, you get the crab, you get a drive-by, maybe you get a double crab, you can just do a full second sequence. So what the Poppy does is say, look, some rough things happen. And again, obviously, this is high elo stuff. So I have the coaching channel where I can kind of break these things down a bit slow. But for high elo, you guys mostly understand what I'm saying here. You just kind of float on down for the pressure. And because we didn't really do the full clear, but we did a lot of ganks, we just need to make sure all our camps are taken off the map. We get control of our jungle, so Nocturne can't counter jungle, so we stay out. And we do run into the Kled, and that's what he wasn't expecting, which is my ultimate point. But then again, it's still fucking greedy of him to do that, and I hate it when top laners do that. Well, to be fair, they don't really do it that often, but I hate it when they do it. Mid laners especially as well. But if you're a mid lane talent or something like that, please, my friends, enjoy. Dishes are served, just don't take mine, take his. So Poppy basically says after base here, I've got the Sheen, I've got the plated steel cabs, I'm not going to get killed by anything that's remotely, well, not going to get killed by anything. I think that we can just end the sentence there. And obviously we go for this gank here with the Nocturne here. We should have pressed tab or notice, hey, look, he's 6. He can easily rotate to this. And now we have a dead Twitch. So is that the 2v2 you necessarily want to go for? Probably not. I know the Echo was looking a little bit primed, but we were behind on levels. So a bit of a risk, kind of saying, hey, look, can we do something? But also like, well, if I don't make a decision here, it's going to be made for me because you're in a bit of a fork position. So Varus is doing a good job of just existing, being super fed, while Twitch does inter-roam things, as I'm sure we are all aware he does. Now we go here, the Talon, oh, goodbye. The Nocturne basically tracks the Poppy going up here, knows she's going to shove to the top side, and so basically this is beautiful. The whole sequence there is really, really exquisite. She waits for the Nocturne to bait out a spell shield, then knocks him to Kingdom Come, Timbuktu, as it were, from the old school 60s cartoons, and he chose just to not to turn. Like, you should have just stuck with it, man. Like, I think it's better here just to totally stick with this kill and try and kill the Poppy. Like, if you can get one thing back, you realize, look, doom scenario, I die, it sucks, but at least I get something. I feel like that's better than just running away trying to get Echo to save you. Just let Echo be in his lane. So the Echo is over here now. Twitch is rotating to the side. Anyway, we kind of see this as Nocturne. So we trail this. We see how Kled is gankable. We know the Poppy gonna show up. She does. She knocks him away. The Kled goes in. She uses the full array of a kit to get the stun to prevent the jump. Hits the slow. Hits the max HP damage. Boom, he dies. Nocturne shows up again. Our team helps and collapses. And we're able to live. We maybe shouldn't have, but we are able to do so. And then again, you know, with the W passive, hey, it gets doubled. it gets down, like, should we be rotating to this? It gets doubled if we're below 40% HP, so we're low, we have bonus resistances as well. We chuck out the Oreo, we get the E, we use the movement speed boost from the W. We're not able to get the kill. Oh, it's so close and unfortunate. Oh, Varus! Wow, okay. Nice ult there, thank you so much. The Nocturne is now dead. The puppy does have a Hex Splash. She could look to reposition here over the wall. The Mordecai is rotating down with the Kled. Echo, Varus, Q. No, doesn't do that much damage just yet. Wait and see. Champion's still kind of annoying to face and deal with. We're going to snack away these Raptors right in front of the Pyke's face here because the Nocturne is dead. I don't know why we'd full on commit to this. This is a full send I don't expect. Again, we get the E into the wall. Now we W to prevent it. We go over the wall, keeping the AoE around the Kled while zoning everybody else. Beautifully done again. The movement speed is absolutely crazy. And we got the Phase Rush proc, right? You get that Phase Rush proc. It's really nicely done. And obviously, the positioning is huge once you understand how to position. But again, the Dark Harvest value for damage and carry potential in your golds and things like this. You know, you could go Hail of Blades, you can go Electrocute, she really can do a lot of different rune sets, which is nice. Like, it's good to have that variability. We snack a dragon and now we can go back to base. At this point, we've got 5 seconds on this Q here, obviously, well, excuse me. Obviously, we're maxing that up, that'll go to 4 seconds. The Nocturne then decides to go down to this side to take his red, gets yeeted to Brazil, and then the talent shows up, is like, yo, can I get some of this? And the Mordekaiser says, yeah, sure, buddy. Why don't you just go ahead and snack that? There we go. Free assist. Pyke shows up. We're going back to base, or we're going back to the blue buff. With me, to use a Jar Jar Binks-ism. But again, like 10 out of 17 KP. First rotation completely compromised. Nocturne's too busy saying, I got a pickaxe. I'm a sequence down. Like, that's what they do, right? They get the lead. They don't use it. Even in Hilo, E-West, they don't. Any server, Korea uses it. Very annoyingly so, actually. It's quite oppressive. I can't believe they're buffing Nidalee. So Korean players in Hilo, yeah, enjoy that. That's going to be fun for you guys. The shield obviously scales with HP, so you've got a lot of... It's just the kit is loaded, right? She's one of the really great reworks that we had who has struggled to find presence in top lane for, honestly, you probably may as well know better than me, but years, right? Years and years and years. I cannot think of any time in the past 5 years that Poppy was remotely good or dominating in the top lane meta. It must have been before that, right? It must have been before Season 8 or something like this. Really insane how she doesn't get that love in that lane for which she was designed. And instead has found this niche viability in the jungle, but again, not really high, 1.2, 1.5% pick rate. I talked a lot about it in that video. We check out the Q, we pick it up, we don't see it on the floor. We get the slow if we can hit it. Double proc obviously again, so procs once you hit it, and then procs again in that field. So it's really, really huge if you want to maximize your damage output. Really, really good to hit that. So we activate our W here to get some movement speed for the rotation rather than to stop any sort of dashes. And again, that's great because we have the ult. So the enemy team knows, ooh, we chuck out. See, there you go. You can do that as well. She basically goes straight in to hit the double knock up here, but that's not... It was nice, but it was an overcommit. We all agree, okay. It's fun to look at, like, ooh, a play is going to be made. I kind of wanted to get a bit hyped over it, and then as soon as she does a double knock up on the ultimate, you're like, okay, 3v2, not so good, now we die. We all learn this lesson sooner or later. And again, you've got to enjoy yourself. Like, this is... I would put that as, hey, I'm kind of fed. Varus is kind of fed. Maybe I can do enough where he can just kill everybody. It's the strategic limit test, as it were. Not one you necessarily want to make more than once in a game, but it's definitely one where you can kind of... It's like a heat check 3, right? You hit 2, 3, 4 in a row. You take the 5th. It's outrageous. It's at the half court. You miss it. It's ugly. But, you know, it's worth a check. Because if you can make this play, boom, you win the game. But I think it was definitely... a bit overzealous in retrospect. We didn't get the Herald, obviously. We did get the Dragon. Kled shows up here. We're going to Hex Flash over the wall. We can get that E into the wall there as well. We'll get the Auto Q. We'll get the Bonk here. The Oreo shot off to the side, so we don't get to pick that up. We use a W, and we get another Q, because that's on a very low cooldown at this point. The R does hit from the Varus. The spell shit doesn't really do anything. We do get feared and sniped with a Duskblade. That was cheeky. I like that. See, this gives you, there you go, that 350 range. So that's what that is, right? Every 10 seconds. So when that is up now, the next attack chucks it. So it's basically a ranged attack in that sense. So you can kind of use it on the, there you go, see again, we chuck it, and then we can E-dash into it. So that's really, really useful to use on heralds when you want to steal the cash money. And then everyone on your team's like, whoa, how did you range kill that herald? And you're like, so we'll do the gromp into the wolves there. We'll let this guy snack the turret away. The Mordekaiser's in the mid lane. He's going to get ulted by the level 8 Nocturne, who now is just, while he's 6-5-1 and he's like trying to do his best, the Poppy is just totally outpathing him because he you know, he's getting kills, he's making some plays here, he's trying to do stuff, but he completely lacks the total control of the game. Poppy is just absolutely taking over the game here, and that was nifty as well. The important thing about the Hex Flash that I like is a cool utility early. As we watch this, maybe I'll get back into a second, the Xayah is out of position. Obviously, we get that E, we'll get that auto Q. She gets slowed, we did a lot of damage. Oh, the E West Quadratum. He makes sure he gets that kill onto the Xayah. Flood moves to the mid lane. You guys think you can do Poppy W. The original anti-mobility, my friends. Everyone's like, what about Vex? What about these things? No, Poppy. The Oreo. So effectively, the cool thing you can know, it hasn't ended yet. Now we're 3 levels up, and we're just strategically fighting. This is a great example of the eyes up jungling approach that I talk about. Just looking for the next best play. Right, what's the next best play in the map that I can make before I go back to my camps, before I go back to base? And it's always that. Always, always, always. Hey, I've done some camps, ganks. We've done this. Oh, I can do this, and then I can fall back to this, do this whole thing. You know, here, oh look, I'm doing this. Oh look, there's a kill here. I can take this. There's a kill here. Now I can push him off. Now I can move him down to this phase. It's where sitting on your goal at 2.3 makes sense because you're making the right play. It's not 2.3 sitting on it farming, overstaying, your team resets. It's playing the map correctly and staying out to make that next best play because you can. They had a whole bunch of dead members. You're 3 levels up. Just push him off, take his shit, go back to the dragon, right? Now you can basically say, look, I got 2.4. My team is over here. Do I need to rotate? And am I able to do something about that? If not, hey, then you can always fall back to your camps here. So you can look to stay out only because there's no real Baron on the map, there's no Herald on the map, there's nothing else for us really to do at this stage, but we do want to make sure we spend that gold soon TM, right? So the other thing about the Hex Flash, a lot of Poppy junglers complain about the clear speed, saying, oh, look, you can't full clear, you can't do blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could, it's just slower. But if you wanted to gank bottom lane, and they had shove because you started top side because, you know, for whatever reason, and you wanted to gank it, and this was warded up is the point. What you can very easily do is just sequence down, do your 3-4, you know, at max 5 camp, and just flash over the wall, right? If it's warded here and it's warded here, and you've seen this, like the mid laner goes here, and the bottom laner goes here, let me pause it. Then go ahead and just flash this wall, loop around the side, and you still have Hex Flash. You know, you don't need to worry about keeping your flash as much because you have Hex Flash. It's worth the flash to get around the vision to get the 100% guaranteed gank off, especially when it is a 100% guaranteed gank. In the meantime, Kled is fighting the Mordekaiser. Poppy is now showcasing down here to take this Scuttle Crab. We are hopefully going to snack that up. We do. Pyke says, yo! And then Poppy says, yeah, but I beat you. One more. Nice Q. And we have the Nocturne going to the bottom lane to try and salvage the situation, which he, of course, is able to do. But Poppy says it's okay, I killed Pyke. Now we see an extrapolate. Where are they going? This way. Do I want to cut them off? Or is it numbers disadvantage? Or do I just want to make sure I can... I mean, how 1v9 do you think she can be at this particular stage? How 1v9 can we be? And that's what you can't do. So if you want to do that, you probably need to play Rengar or Nocturne in that particular case, except be better than he is currently. He's doing okay, but the 6 deaths are really compromising. So Varus is now sitting on the turret. I mean, what a disciplined ADC. I mean, he's died a few times, but he kind of sits, he chills, he isn't inting. He's got 8 kills, 7 assists, doing better than Xayah. Now we can do well with that. Now the Poppy leaves the base here, doesn't use the Hextech Gate, because obviously you want to potentially scan the area maybe, but I would prefer to just take the Hextech Gate, and most elos, you're most likely going to be okay having a look to see what's up. But as I say that, I don't look very good in the moment, do I? It's more like, hey, let's just watch it play through. It's more like, hey, look, I can take the Hextech Gate and scan a place control wards and see what's up, rather than walking around to do Raptors first. So you hit this, you take this, you're scanning, oh, people are there, press W, run away. You're safe, right? You're Poppy, you're safe, you have phase rush as well. There's no reason for us to go here and die to this at all. We can Hextech scan and see what's up, because you can see the pings going through like, hey, you know, someone could be in the area. But that was a bit of a needless death. But Varus is able to take the turret with the Twitch. Talon's able to push this a little bit, so we are getting bailed out. you know, okay, how many actual dumb deaths? I mean, this was not really like they trapped and they killed us. That does happen. So, you know, let's not call it that, but we maybe should have just been a bit more prudent with the Hextech and the scan if we anticipated it. This was a dumb death, and this was a dumb death for sure. If you're dying 2 times legitimately in a game, and the rest of the time you're able to survive, reposition, and thrive, that's fine. That's fine. That's amazing. That's the actual reality of it. The Nocturne does go in on a bot lane. We should always be looking to shadow this, which of course we are, right? Well, not super shadow, but we see ADC and support pushing this lane, so I'm going to go into the jungle here. If something happens, I can rotate, which is, of course, she does. The Echo flanks on the backside. We get that E to position him out of the W, which is, again, beautifully done here. The Echo is forced to ult, so he should be doomed as he is. We use our W again to reposition. Have the phase rush available at the moment. Talon just goes straight in. We chuck the Oreo. Can we pick it up? We do. And the Twitch is doing some poison damage. We actually lose Talon here. The gun doesn't hit anything. Probably now E's to reposition. Picks up the Oreo again, and now we'll run away. We have the Mordekaiser with TP, watching this from afar, basically saying, no, I will not TP. I will not be involved in your shenanigans, as we fall back to the Raptor camp. Acceptable decision on the top laner's part. We're used to that as well. Xayah does get that. Caution now. Everyone's up, and Nocturne will have his ult available. That sucker is on a very short cooldown. Almost said long cooldown. Short cooldown. The idea here is we got Divine Sunderer, Deadman's, and Force of Nature. We want movement speed. We want tankiness. We want every bit of HP we can get for our mega giga shield, and our damage profile should be perfectly fine with Divine Sunderer and its penetration passive. We see our teammates fighting, so we decide to go straight in. We see the Nocturne go deep, so we say, right, we will peel him immediately, keep that Varus alive. Beautiful tank play. Now we can chase down people front to back. We have a whole team showing up. Echo's forced to ult. We E him against the wall again. We hit that Q, we get the Oreo off as well, and now Kled will be chased away. There you go. Hextech Dragon for us or a Baron for us. Make your decision. This Herald will not get much further than that. And really, who cares about that? We could obviously, in this particular case, have the Talon go and do the Dragon if he can. In theory, if he can, he probably should. Pyke rotates up to this, but Dragon isn't really on the map as a specific play that we need to worry about in this WinCon game. I don't know why we take Barons and then people stay out. Like Mord's sitting on. I mean, I know he's got. Okay, so Mord, I know you got a lot of cash money, but you know the rest of your team are gonna go here. So just go do the Krugs and wait before you go back for that pressure. Obviously in high elo, you guys understand. You know, we have this understanding of mechanics and the flow and things like this. But still, how many times have we all lost games? And the majority of our climbs in the history of our time playing League of Legends because we take a Baron, 2 people overstay, and then they die to the enemy team respawning. I know you have gold, so go take Krugs. See, now you can take Krugs. Now's a good time. Don't show and overcommit and die. However, because we have just taken that Dragon, and Mord is pretty much beasting it for the win, we can go to the mid lane here. Twitch solo kills the Echo. We're watching this fight. Poppy is going to rotate to it. This is fine, because now he can push this. We've still killed the Echo. Poppy says, hello! Chucks the Oreo. This Oreo goes other places. We hit the W to make sure we can't dash away. Hit the E to finish. Nicely done. So, rotational power, right? Buys a lot of time, absorbs 2 people for what feels like eons, and now we can kind of rotate and help them out a bit. But if you're the top lane or someone in this regard and you have not a lot of gold to spend, please don't overcommit and die to the whole team respawning, because now we've lost that Baron pressure. Just take this if you need to, wait for everyone to show up, or begin heading down here if you like. And then we can do something else. But regardless, if you're fed, it doesn't really matter as much. AK gold lead is meaningful, right? Although he is 376, so I just had a look. I'm like, maybe I'm giving him too much credit here. Maybe it's just a dumbass play. I try to look for the positive spin on things, but sometimes no. So now we are, of course, leaving our bottom lane. You don't really want to be the split force here. You want to peel the Nocturne. You want to peel the Pyke. You want to peel the Kled engage. You want to peel the Echo. You want to just make sure that your bottom lane lives, which is what we have been doing, which is great, which means that Mord has to be the one. The Talon has to be the one. The Talon TPs to the top wave here. Take some camps, float around. Perfect, right? Perfect. Poppy's ult plus her E is absolutely massive, and enemy assassins are going to struggle to know how to engage when you're positioning very well, because obviously Varus has his own peel also. So it's not just like it's only you. Edge of Night is gone. Worth noting. What is Nocturne doing? He's looking for the entry point, but he doesn't have the damage. With this build, you don't have the damage. You need the survivability and the stickiness, but again, you're not going to kill people with that amount of peel. So Poppy takes all his camps perfect. If we don't need to base, that's fine. We can go and snipe this lane. We can take all the camps away. The Xayah shows up. You just want to make sure you're syncing with your team for making plays. The Xayah now doesn't show up, so we can anticipate she's probably somewhere around here. Hello. Hit the E, hit the Q, hit the kill. Twitch and Varus show up on the map again. Mordekaiser will push top lane. Now we go back to base. So now we go back to base. We are not going for the force of nature, obviously, in this game. The Echo is of no threat. He's 2 and 10. They have no other meaningful AP. They're all AD. And again, who are you fighting in these fights? Always fighting the Pyke, always fighting the Nocturne, peeling those guys, killing the Xayah, worrying about the Kled. The Echo isn't the thing you're fighting 1v1, so you don't need magic resist. Even if he was kind of juiced, you could justify it, but you don't really need it when you're dealing with 99% physical damage champions. So obviously the coin flip of going back to base in that scenario is your bottom lane are ready to push, and they will push without you, so make sure you rotate directly to the scenario, and you're able to clean up. Here we go. I followed the Talon. I lost my eyeballs for a second. I was looking at other things here. I was worried about the Nocturne for a second. The Poppy does this here. There you go. That's what you wanted to see, right? We hit the E, we hit the Q, we get the slow, we press the W, we press the smite button. Free kill on the Pyke. And this should be the game, I think. I mean... Xayah, Talon, Mord, top lane. Ooh, a little bit of an E. We chuck the Oreo. Can we catch up? No, not yet. Poppy, my friends. Divine Sundra, 2,500 damage to champions, 2,200 healing from champions, and nice build, nice champion. When you play right, you understand the flow of the game. Don't AFK farm. Don't gank like a Silas jungle idiot. You know, it's really about that balance. It's seeing those plays, understanding your kit, and being a very, very strong disruptor. You're not a full tank, but you're a tank, if you follow my meaning. So, really nice game to showcase Poppy's strengths. Phase Rush, Hex Flash, love him. Dark Harvest as well for you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.